Hello, it is Michael Linsin of Smart Classroom Management, and today I'm going to show you how to have effortless rapport with your students. So we hear a lot about relationships and the importance of having relationships, positive relationships with students, and so I'm going to teach you how to do that. But first, please subscribe to this channel. If you like this video and find it valuable, please share it with others, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below and let me know. I would really appreciate it. You can also leave a comment and let me know what other topics that you would like me to cover. But first, I'd like to go over the conventional advice that you hear mostly when you're reading books on the topic of relationships, classroom management, that sort of thing, when you're getting advice from colleagues and in professional development, that when you build relationships in order to build good rapport with students, you need to go to them individually. So you approach students, you go to students individually to build rapport with them one-on-one. This is the conventional advice. You try to get to know them by asking them about their hobbies and their likes and their dislikes and what music they enjoy or movies they enjoy, video games, and you try to find some common ground with them. And again, it's conventional and it makes sense. It makes perfect sense that you would do that. We're going to discuss the problem with this approach and why it doesn't work here in a moment. You engage socially with them and you try to come across as cool. And this is something that may not be part of the advice, but it's something that the teachers do. They try to be like the cool teacher with students, maybe a level of friendship with students, and they feel as if they do this will help them down the line. It will give them more influence, etc. But again, the problem is that not only doesn't it work in this day and age, especially maybe 20 years ago, some of this could have been sort of effective, but in this day and age, just doesn't work. And the reasons are, the big thing is that students find it incredibly awkward. They'll do their best and they'll flatter you, and you may not be able to see it in their response, but kids find it incredibly awkward and cringy. It's embarrassing for them, and they end up, what happens is that you push them away. So going to them individually one-on-one is really hard for kids. For most kids these days, it's very few that feel comfortable in that sort of situation. So it has the opposite effect. It really pushes them further away, and it lessens your influence. It doesn't increase your influence. And same with trying to be cool in this day and age. Kids respect you to be yourself, to be authentic. If you're older like me, they want you to be who you are. That's far more important and works much better than you trying to kind of lower yourself or to try to be cool and use their handshakes and that sort of thing. They privately avoid you. So this is something that very few teachers can notice this is actually happening and this is what's going on in your classroom, but when you approach kids individually, most of them will end up just wanting to avoid that interaction with you. They see you coming and their heart starts racing and they just think of a way to get out of it. And then at worst, they end up disliking you. Because if you make someone feel uncomfortable in time, they are going to dislike you and resent you approaching them. Okay? So, conventional advice is go to students individually, but in this day and age, again, this is the problem. These things happen. So what's the solution? So if you're not going to students, for in order to have greater rapport with them. And when we talk about rapport, we're talking about a positive relationship where they like and respect you and feel comfortable in your presence. Again, how would you do that if you don't go to them? Well, this is something that I learned pretty early on in my career that has only become more powerful as things have gone on. I first wrote about it in a book called Dream Class that I wrote in 2008, published in 2009, and it had been something that I'd been using for many years prior to that. But in this day and age of smartphones and social media, it has become even more effective and a better way to build those relationships. And in the title, I said that it was effortless, and it truly is effortless. And here's the secret to it. Don't go to individual students to build rapport. Never, ever. Your relationship is between you and your class as a whole. It is not between you and each individual student in your class. You don't have time for that, for one. So when you try to do this, you don't have time. You don't have time to go to recess or to pull kids aside or to try to do those sorts of things anyway. It backfires. And again, I'm gonna teach you exactly how and show you exactly what to do. But just know that the most effective relationship is you here as the teacher and your students there as students and scholars and kids that are there to learn. And the secret is for you to be consistently pleasant. That's it. That's the secret. To be consistently pleasant. And what that means is that you're never going to create friction. And this is something that we talk a lot about in Smart Classroom Management. I believe I mentioned it in a prior video. But friction means pulling students aside to lecture them, tell them how to think or how they should feel or anything like that. It includes lecturing the class as a whole. It includes using sarcasm or rolling your eyes at behavior or having any sort of negative attitude, being grumpy and irritable and those sorts of things. You have to remove that completely. So that's the cost. But if you're consistently pleasant, and by the way, this becomes much easier when you have a classroom management plan that takes care of misbehavior for you. And please see my previous videos on classroom rules and consequences. Please check out our classroom management plans at Smart Classroom Management. So you allow your plan to do its job, and all you do is follow through, and that frees you to have a great relationship with your whole class, good rapport with your whole class. When you're consistently pleasant, and that means you're pleasant all the time. Excuse me, there's a fly bugging me here. But when you're consistently pleasant from opening bell to dismissal or for every period, and this means all year, okay? So you're consistently pleasant. You don't have to do anything more than that. Students will like you and they will come to you. And it's a phenomenon that I've tested with hundreds of students, all grade levels, just using your good humor, telling your stories, enjoying teaching, providing good, compelling lessons to your students, saying hello to them, all of them. It doesn't mean that you ignore individual students, but you just say hello to each one, give them a fist bump just like normal, but you're not going to engage with any particular student. But when you are consistently pleasant like that, the students will want to get to know you better. it pulls them towards you. It attracts kids to you rather than you pushing them away. And when they feel comfortable with you based on your personality and your consistent pleasantness alone, then your interactions with them become organic and easy. There's no awkwardness from students. None of this kind of cringiness where they see you coming. They don't have to worry about that. They can come to you if you wish. And I found that, when class is over, they are huddling around me. And anyone who's used this approach, when you're walking out in the hallway, the kids want to follow you and want to be with you. They're asking if you can eat lunch with them, all these sorts of things. And this makes the relationship easy, and it also skyrockets your influence with them. Okay, so just your consistent pleasantness. And forgive me for continuing to say that, but I want it to stick in there. I want you to be thinking about that. That's your mantra, just consistent pleasantness. And again, let your students come to you. Don't spend any time trying to build rapport or relationships, and let it happen naturally. I often get the question when I talk about this approach or this strategy, I get the question, well, what about the students who don't want to come to you, who you end up not knowing very well? What about them? And it's the same. You may not know them personally very well, but they're going to get to know you based on just you're running the classroom. You're the teacher and leader of the classroom, and they're going to feel comfortable with you, and they may not come to you, and it's okay. It doesn't lessen your influence with them. There was a student I was teaching. I had a student in third grade that in a PE class. So I didn't know her very well. I just saw her maybe once a week for a year. And then she was in my class as a 10th grader in high school, years later. And I remembered her face, but I didn't know her very well at the time at all, because I didn't go to students or anything, and she was quiet. But when she saw me, she ran up to me. She was so excited to see me and acted as if we had been these lost long friends. She knew everything about me, was just so familiar. And again, I could place her face, but didn't know her very well. And it just showed me the power that even after many years, that level of that rapport I had with her lasted. And it was something that I continued to lean on. She was a difficult student, a struggling student, and it was something that I leaned on when she was in my classroom for that semester. She trusted me, she liked me, she looked up to me and trusted me, and so I had influence with her. And so again, try it for 2 weeks. And I think that you'll see a pretty strong improvement. Number one, it just takes a lot of pressure off of you. And number two, I think you'll start to see more ready smiles and kind of an easier relationship. And again, a stronger, more influential relationship with your students. Okay, I hope that helps. Please, again, leave a comment. If you've used this before, please leave a comment and let me know how that's going. Have you experienced this, going to students and trying to do this? Because it's the advice that we've been getting for forever, for as long as I have been teaching. I do this full time now, but I taught for 33 years in the public schools, and this is the advice that we always got. that you need to go and you need to work and try to build those relationships. If you've done that and you've noticed all of this kind of awkwardness and cringiness from students that it feels like you're pushing them away and they don't like you, please leave a comment and let me know. And please don't forget to subscribe. Hope you have a great week. See you next time.